She stared at the door he never opened again. Not because he didn't want to, but because he never knew how. Why does Aries, bold, wild, irresistible Aries, always end up in love with ghosts who breathe, with hearts too afraid to open? It's not a coincidence. It's not bad luck. It's a pattern. A dangerous, karmic, magnetic pattern. And once you see it, you can never unsee it. This story isn't just about astrology. It's about why your fire keeps finding ice. Why your soul calls out to people who can't say, "I love you" back. Not really. Not the way you burn for. So stay with me until the end. Because this is more than a horoscope. It's a spellbreaker. If you've ever wondered why your love story always ends before it begins, this is for you. Let's begin with the truth no one tells Aries. Your love is too powerful to be casual. Too intense for the unprepared. When Aries falls, it's never halfway. You fall like a meteor, loud, bright, unmissable. And in that blinding light, you attract what's half alive. People who are drawn to your fire, not knowing it'll force them to confront their own shadows. You don't fall for unavailable people. You awaken the unavailability inside them. They were fine until you loved them. Fine in their numbness. Fine in their walls. Then you came in like a wildfire, and suddenly, they felt again. And it scared them. Aries is ruled by Mars, the god of war, the force of desire, the explosion of the first heartbeat. You are not just a sign. You are the beginning. So what does the beginning always do? It wakes up everything that's asleep, including the parts of people that were better left untouched. You don't just fall for people who can't love you. You fall for people whose souls recognize yours, but whose egos aren't ready for the confrontation. And that's what it always is, isn't it? A confrontation. Not of anger, but of truth. You don't just love them. You see them. And that terrifies them more than anything. They were content hiding in confusion. They made peace with being emotionally not ready. But then you come in with eyes like fire. And you see through the mask. You ask questions no one's asked. You want connection, not performance. You want devotion, not convenience. You want something real, and that's rare. But Aries, erase the dark mirror. Sometimes you love them because they're not ready. Because part of you, the part that still believes you have to fight for love, is addicted to the chase. And that's the next layer. Aries doesn't just want love. Aries wants to win love. You don't just fall in love. You charge into it. Head first, heart open, soul unprotected. And in the process, something ancient in you awakens. The urge to conquer what feels impossible. You want to be the one who melts their walls. The one who makes the emotionally unavailable choose you. Because if they choose you, despite their fear, it must mean you're worth it. Right? But erase the trap. You're not in love with them. You're in love with what their love could prove about you. You turn love into a test. A battlefield where your worth is constantly on the line. And when they pull away, ghost you, gaslight you, tell you they're not ready, it doesn't break your desire. It fuels it. It makes you want them more. Because deep inside, Aries still believes love is something you fight for. That if it's easy, it must be fake. That real love requires struggle, drama, resurrection. But that belief didn't come from the stars. It came from your childhood. Somewhere along the way, you learned that love meant chasing. That being chosen had to be earned. And that pain was part of the price. So now, even as a fire sign, strong, radiant, unbreakable, you still find yourself drawn to people who make you prove your worth over and over again. And there's more. People who are not ready are often a mirror. They reflect back your own hesitation, the part of you that's afraid of stillness. You say you want a deep, stable connection. But when someone safe shows up, someone available, clear, emotionally ready, you get bored. Restless. You sabotage. Because if there's no fight, where's the fire? You're not just afraid of being abandoned. You're afraid of being truly seen, in the calm. Without the chase. Without the chaos. So you go back to what's familiar. People who can't commit. People who aren't over their ex. People who don't want labels. People who say they want love, but run the moment it touches them. And every time it happens, you think it's your fault. That maybe you're too much. Too intense. Too fast. Too emotional. But Aries, you were never too much. They were simply not enough for the love you carry. The real tragedy isn't that they couldn't love you. It's that you kept shrinking your fire to fit their cold. Let that sink in. You weren't too fast. You just knew what you felt. You weren't too intense. You just refused to play dead inside. You weren't too emotional. You just didn't want to love halfway. And they couldn't meet you, not because you're broken, but because they were still afraid to feel. You're not broken for loving them. You're human. You're Aries. And your love was never the problem. But now the question becomes, why do you keep repeating it? Why, after every heartbreak, do you still find yourself pulled toward another half-open heart? Another complicated soul with 1,000 excuses and one missing answer. Because deep inside the Aries soul is a healer. A warrior who doesn't just fight for love, but believes they can fix it. Even if it's broken before it begins. You see potential. Not reality. And potential is the most seductive illusion of all. You imagine how soft they could be, if only they felt safe. You picture the version of them who's open, tender, full of words you've waited your whole life to hear. And even when they show you the opposite, inconsistency, silence, emotional distance, you hold on. Because the version you see in your mind feels so real. You're not naive. You're visionary. But that vision becomes a prison when it keeps you tied to someone who only exists in your imagination. And erase the hard truth. You fell in love with who they could become. Not who they are right now. Who they are today is afraid. Unavailable. Closed. Wounded. And loving them harder won't unlock their heart. Only they can do that. And some people never will. So what does that mean for you? It means you must stop lighting yourself on fire to keep cold lovers warm. It means your healing doesn't come from being chosen, but from choosing yourself, finally, completely, without hesitation. You deserve someone who meets you in your fire, not someone who fears it. Someone who doesn't flinch when you love out loud. Someone who doesn't run when you show your heart. Someone who doesn't need fixing, because they've already done the work. Yes, they exist. But they only appear when you stop chasing what's broken. When you stop believing that love must hurt to be real. Because Aries, listen closely. You are not here to be half-loved. You are not here to wait for someone to be ready. You are not here to teach someone how to treat you. You are here to burn in your full glory. And to be met, not managed. You don't need another story where you do all the work. You need a story where love meets you halfway. Where the other person walks toward you, not away. But to receive that kind of love, you have to stop writing chapters with people who only show up for the prologue. Erase the secret no one tells Aries. The moment you stop chasing, the right soul starts arriving. But it doesn't look like fireworks. Not at first. It looks like calm. It feels like peace. It sounds like "I'm here" instead of "I'm confused." And that's when the real battle begins. Because part of you will want to run. You'll miss the high of the chase. You'll miss the thrill of uncertainty. You'll mistake calm for boredom. Because for so long, love has meant pain. But this time, don't run. Stay. Breathe. Let your nervous system learn the difference between passion and chaos. This is your transformation. From fire that destroys to fire that creates. From needing to be chosen to being the one who chooses. From proving your worth to living like you never had to. Because you never did. The right person won't be intimidated by your passion. They won't need to be taught how to love you. They'll feel you deeply, instantly, and still, they'll stay. Not because they're perfect, but because they're ready. And Aries, that's what you've always deserved. Not perfection. Not performance. But readiness. Real love doesn't make you question your worth. It confirms it. Over and over again. So to every Aries who's loved someone unavailable. To every soul who gave too much, waited too long, stayed too hopeful. Let this be the end of that story. Let this be the last time you fall for a heart that isn't open. Let this be the moment you come back to yourself. Because there's nothing wrong with your love. It's wild, sacred, unstoppable. And someone out there, someone real, is not just capable of holding it. They're waiting to. You don't need to chase them. You only need to be where your fire burns brightest. In truth, in courage, in clarity. So let this be your sign. Stop knocking on locked doors. Stop watering deserts. Stop turning your heart into a lesson for people who refuse to learn. You were never meant to prove your worth through pain. You were meant to be loved, freely, completely, now. And if you're still here, if you've watched to the end, maybe you're ready too. So subscribe. Stay close. There are more truths coming. And next time, we'll go even deeper. Because this is just the beginning.